Welcome to the home of the Tigers, Boothferry Park, stadium of Hull City Football Club, one of the great clubs of British football, but alas, a club that has yet to grace the First Division. But there are a few people, I can tell you, this season who want to change all of that. We're going to meet them. Let's come inside for a closer look. And here we are at the heart of the club, a door over which it says directors and officials only, but you're going to get a privileged inside view of the workings of Hull City. Just come this way. Right, here we are then in the inner sanctum at Boothferry Park. Straight ahead of me is the tunnel out onto the pitch. To my left is the visitors' dressing room. To my right, the home team dressing room. And guess which way we're going. Follow me. Right, here's the corridor where it all happens. First port of call, manager's office, private. Please knock and wait. We'll give it a go. I'm waiting. He's obviously not in yet. Brian Horton, an early arrival on match days, but we're here on this occasion even earlier than him. We'll talk to him when he does arrive. On the left-hand side, a storeroom, and an even greater pot of gold here again on my left, without which some essentials here. You can't play any game of football. The boot room, the Hull City, and even more important on this occasion, but a match to play, the match boot room. Right, straight ahead of me, the dressing room. Let's go in and have a look. Right, here we are at the Hull City dressing room here at Boothferry Park, and this, you could say, the first team talk of the night. Though certainly it's not going to be as important as telling as the one that Brian Horton will deliver to the Hull players a little later on here in the dressing room, with the crisp, newly laundered kits laid out all the way around the room numerically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over that side, 8, 9, 10, 11 over here. The cleaning ladies have obviously done a very good job today. One of the substitutes, 12 there, and for some reason all on his own. The man will be wearing the number 14 shirt over there, but you never know, he could well turn out to be the most important man of the game. And certainly another man who could be very busy, indeed is kept busy right the way through a football season. One of the most important men, I suppose, at any club. The physiotherapist, hoping he's not going to be too busy on this occasion, I'm sure. And he's Jeff Radcliffe. We'll just come this way and have a quick word with him. And so here we are in the physio's room at Boothferry Park, often a hive of activity. Jeff, has it been a busy time for you so far this season?
I must admit, over the last 4 or 5 weeks it has been quite hectic. We've had quite a lot of niggly little injuries, pulled hamstrings, sprained ankles, that type of thing. But touch wood, we haven't been too bad with the real serious injuries. We want to stay that way.
Right, so to help you cope with all that and to anticipate all of that, we have your match equipment here. Not a great deal of it, perhaps, judging from the size of the case here, but I would imagine quite a lot inside that. The magic bag for the... We're going to have a quick look inside that.
Yeah, of course you can, yeah. We try and cope for most eventualities out on the pitch. Obviously scissors for cutting through anything that needs to be cut through, socks or whatever if you're suspecting a fracture. Vaseline for putting on slight cuts round the eyes to prevent the blood dripping in. Sterile dressings, again to cover open wounds. The old sponge and the magic hat, yes.
On a cold night, that's vital for you.
It's vital for me, yeah. An inflatable splint, leg splint obviously, hopefully that we don't have to use that too often, but that's obviously looking for fractures. And then again you've an ice pack that you can put on an injury as you're bringing them off the pitch if need be. It's a disposable ice pack, 2 chemicals that are shaken together, and it lowers the temperature and obviously stops bleeding.
Not literally ice as perhaps people imagine.
Not literally ice, no, it's a chemical compound. The cold spray, again, just for taking the soreness off knocks. It won't stop a problem, say they've got a pull muscle or whatever, but if you've got a kick on the shin, it might just take a little bit of the soreness away. And a hot spray, again, more for things before the match rather than during the match.
And a little trolley here as well with other accoutrements.
That's right, yes, again, in use before the game for strapping the players up, and after the game with dressings and disinfectants and antibiotic dressings, that type of thing.
Half-time, I would think, can be quite busy because during a match, obviously, you can only treat one person at one time, and you hope not to. But at half-time, imagine maybe half a dozen players might come in moaning and groaning.
That's right, it can be hectic. Sometimes, obviously, people get a cut and you can leave it till half-time and you get the doctor down and get it stitched as quickly as you can. Somebody else might be suffering with some tightness in a muscle in the calf, perhaps, and they need a massage to try and keep them going. But again, let's hope it's a quiet night tonight.
And while Jeff prepares his Band-Aid roadshow, the Boothferry Park pitch is also being nursed with loving care. Ken Norrie is the groundsman here at Boothferry Park. Ken, that looks a nice finishing touch to the line. Just how much work do you have to do before a home game here?
It all depends on whether we've had a game before. Obviously we had a game for a week, so I had plenty of time to get it divoted and rolled and cut and whatever, and there's quite a lot to do with the preparation of a football pitch. Depending on the condition, you've got to work with the weather. There's some days when it can be a very difficult job, other days it's so easy.
Are match days the busiest?
Well, yeah, you take a little pride in what you do. You like to try and make the pitch look good for the players, for the public, the spectators, hoping that we have a good result, then it makes it all worthwhile.
Boothferry Park remains one of the most atmospheric and distinctive grounds in the country. It even has its own railway station. And now, finally, the club is on the main line to the First Division. That's the timetable set by Chairman Don Robinson. Don Robinson, as Chairman of Hull City, how excited are you feeling at the moment about just the possibility that you might go in the First Division for the first time?
Well, it's always been our ambition to go into the First Division ever since I came to the club. This was now my 6th season. It just seems like yesterday since I came here. Been 5, 6 wonderful years, and we're very near, you know, we're looking good. We've got tonight, on tonight's game, we're playing Bradford tonight, who are top of the league. Now, who would have thought Bradford would have been top? We're lying 3rd. And so we're looking good. We've got a few injuries at the moment, but we've got such fantastic team spirit and involvement in the club that, you know, our reserves are coming through, the young kids are coming through, and that's what it's all about.
Football clubs these days, even in a city the size of Hull, can't afford to rely solely on gate receipts. Peter Roper is Hull's commercial manager. It's a relatively new creation, isn't it, the job of commercial manager at a football club. Are you specifically involved in financial affairs?
Not necessarily financial affairs, no. I mean, my job here is to sell the club, naturally. How the team performs on the day, or the evening, whatever, doesn't really reflect on my side of the job. My side of the job is to sell the club and to promote the company's requirements in the most cost-effective and original manners which we can put up for them. Yeah.
There's a great link, of course, between the two roles in that I'm sure that success on the field rubs off on you and perhaps makes your job a great deal easier.
Yes, there is an element of truth about that. Naturally, quite a lot of our sponsors are Hull City supporters, but there again we've got to bear in mind that they're bringing along guests for the very first time to a football match, and we've really got to show the public of Hull that it's not just a football club, it's a family club, it's got a family atmosphere. We're here to look after their guests, to entertain them, to get their message across, to improve their profile.
But there's still a shadow stretching across Boothferry Park. Well, 2 to be precise. The achievements of the city's rugby league giants, Hull and Hull KR, have long eclipsed the neighbouring football team. But from being poor relations, the club can now regard themselves as big brothers, as both rugby clubs struggle to maintain their customary success.
We're in friendly competition with the 2 rugby league teams. I'm pleased to say we're turning the corner. You know, we want to be very successful, so we want the 2 rugby league teams to be. I would like to see Hull City top of the First Division and winning the FA Cup, and then the European Cup in the same season. And the ideal situation would be Hull Kingston Rovers versus Hull at Wembley, playing off at Wembley and them drawing at Wembley, and then having a replay. I won't tell you then who I'd want to win, but there you are. But what a marvellous season that would be, wouldn't it?
The man charged with fulfilling Robinson's dreams is Brian Horton, the young Tigers manager. Brian Horton, as manager of Hull City, how deeply do you feel about the question of the club achieving the First Division for the first time in their history? Is that a really burning desire?
It's far too early to talk about promotion at this time, but, you know, you have to believe you can do it. And the way we've started off the season, the players are starting to believe we can.
Are the supporters believing it too?
I don't know. All you can do with supporters really is keep winning. I think they've been let down in the past, but hopefully we can keep playing the entertaining football. And it is entertaining. We've had some marvellous games here. We've lost twice only so far, so we've got to keep going and hope that they have faith in the end.
Great thing looking through your team, there are several long servers, people who've stuck with you and stayed with you and becoming familiar Hull City names. Does that please you that you've got that continuity?
Well, that's only credit to them, really, because football's a game where if you're not doing the stuff on the field, you get replaced. And if the manager's not doing the business, then he gets replaced. I mean, it's a vicious circle like that. So, I mean, that's credit to the likes of Pete Skipper and Tony Norman, Gareth Roberts and Billy Askew. I think those are probably the 4 longest serving. I don't think I've missed any out there. But the continuation really has gone on from the end of last season where, you know, I brought a couple of players in just before the deadline and we went on to look a good side and we've continued from there. And I think it helps that players play together week in, week out. They get a little bit of a feeling for each other. They know what they're going to do. The talking becomes better. And it's got to help when you can keep a balanced side.
You've done the job virtually from scratch here, haven't you? Because when you came, or rather when Don Robinson came and you were appointed, the club almost folded at that time.
Well, that was just before me. I mean, that was credit to the managers before me. They were a good third division club when I came here, just missed out on promotion by a goal. So the foundations were there and the club was on a sound financial footing. But what we've done from there, I think we've extended the youth team policy. We've got young lads coming through now. The YTS scheme has allowed us to do that. We've had to spend a lot of money on the ground, as you know, but that's been done now. There's a little bit of money in the bank if I do want to buy players. But the way we're shaping them up at the moment, I'm quite satisfied in giving our youngsters a chance because at the moment they've been doing it for me.
Welcome to Elland Road for the second division match between Leeds United and Hull City. The Hull City side, well, they have no problems as far as team selects are concerned. They've gone 4 matches unchanged. So there's no problems for Brian Horton, the Hull City manager. Hull, the only unbeaten league team in the second division this season. Parker clearing for Hull City. Adams, Brian Roberts, now to Dyer. Fair turn of speed, the big number 9. And not bad ball control on the ground either. That wasn't a bad effort. So 5 minutes remaining of this half, and it's still goalless so far. Aspin just getting a forehead to that, only as far as Askew. A lot of yellow shirts there. Robson trying his hardest there, but couldn't get through the wall of white shirt. In. Dunn, big useful player, takes a lot of shifting off the ball. Now it's Roberts. Dyer, still Dyer. That's good work by the number 9, and he's given early notice at 3 minutes into the second half, and Dyer has put Hull City in the lead. Palmer looking for Bunn, and Daniel was in. Parker's there, off the line by Rennie. Good work by David Rennie. He saved the day for Leeds then, but that shot was goalward. Palmer. David Rennie uncharacteristically misses that one, and Bunn in looking for Dyer, and Styles Sheridan puts it back. Leeds in problems again, but Rennie there just in time. And putting nothing together, the Leeds forward. The wake comes Daniel. For Bunn is onside. Frankie Bunn shoots. Good shot. And I think Mervyn Day got a hand to it. Skipper there first. Now then, it's Bunn on a break. Down goes Ashurst with Bunn. Will play on to the referee. It comes out to Parker. The danger still not over for Leeds. Parker. Good shot. It's there. 2-0.
Finds Parker. And a good effort from Parker. Just over the crossbar. So the first shot at goal falling to Hull City. Williams. Good header, and it's a good goal. And it's a good goal from Frankie Bunn.
Parker leaving it to Palmer. Palmer to Parker. Parker, it's a good cross. Looking for Gareth Roberts, and Gareth Roberts, it's a goal. 8 minutes gone, and the Tigers have equalised. The smallest man on the pitch, Gareth Roberts, the Hull captain, has got the goal. Hull 1, Leicester 2. Williams, it's there, Hull have scored. Hull have their second, and like in the first half, they're matching Leicester stroke for stroke. Neil Williams with that one. Roberts. He gets the cross in. Bunn getting up there. Williams. He turns his man, Neil Williams. And it's a goal after 42 minutes. That's twice the Hull strikers have beaten the Birmingham defenders for pace. They've had to concede a free kick. And that's a goal. The header from Richard Jobson. And then the header from Frankie Bunn.
You talk about experience. Are your own boots still handy?
They're getting a bit dusty because I can't see myself doing what the likes of Gary Parker and Billy Askew do in midfield anymore. I mean, they've scored some marvellous goals between them so far, and I just see myself now sitting behind this desk and doing more of the coaching and managing rather than playing. I still enjoy playing the reserves. I've been substitute once, but I don't really see it as a future now. My future, I think, is behind the desk. I miss it very, very much, but you know, as long as the players are doing it, that's good enough for me, because it's all about winning, and if you're winning, everybody takes credit for it.
And Chairman Robinson believes Horton's side has the spirit to achieve both their ambitions.
And I'm sure with Brian Horton and so forth, we'll go into the First Division with all our players. Got some great guys. Tony Norman signed last year, before the season finished. He could have gone off to Tottenham Hotspur, big fees involved, but he signed a 4-year contract. That shows what faith that people like Tony Norman have got in this club, that they want to play for Hull. And Tony's words were, yeah, I want to play in the First Division, but I want it to be with Hull City.
By this time, Norman is in the dressing room, going through a familiar routine. The 29-year-old goalkeeper has played in over 300 games for Hull, but none bigger than tonight's visit of second division leaders Bradford City in a top-of-the-table clash. We don't normally get an insight into a dressing room just 35 minutes before a key game. Tony Norman, the goalkeeper, you look rather relaxed, smiling away there. Do you actually feel relaxed inside at this time?
No, not at all, no. I think if anybody said they're totally relaxed, I think they'd be lying, you know. Obviously, we arrive an hour before the kick-off, and from then on, your mind's on the game, you know. So at the moment, we just got changed, and I'm just going to go out for the warm-up now. Then come in and the final preparations will be made, and we're all keyed up for the game.
Do you actually have a routine in this hour before a game?
Yeah, I think everybody does. They all have their individual ways and means and superstitions and what have you. I mean, I've got mine. I just come in, I just, you know, keep myself to myself, really.
Don't talk to anybody but us.
Well, no, I like having a little laugh and that, you know. I just listen to what's going on, but you just get your mind on the game, really, prepare, you know, in a different way.
Yeah, and that's your superstition, if you like, that you don't talk to anybody.
Well, you try anything, and I think if you have a good run, you do little things, you know. I bring like a different undershirt, and if we win a game, I put the same undershirt on. Like we've just lost at Plymouth, so I've changed it today, you know, tried a different one now, you know. So it's things like that. I mean, everybody's got their own little superstition, so you try anything to keep a good run going, you know.
When is the time that the nerves are at their height? Is it just before you go out?
Yeah, I should think so, yeah. Obviously, it's, 10 minutes to go, I'd say. I mean, the couple of lads now will go out for a little warm-up and what have you, and they'll come back in. From then on, it's, 15 minutes to go, and then that's when the countdown really starts. And, of course, 10 minutes, we do our own little warm-up in the dressing room ourselves as a team. Dennis gives us that. And then, obviously, then we're just waiting to go out and get cracking.
Referee Ian Hendrick, players get nervous before a game, naturally enough. Do referees?
Well, I suppose some do in a way. I don't get nervous too much. I think it's important where everybody else gets excited, we try and keep our composure. You know, it's going to be quite exciting tonight, but...
Do you look forward to it more when there's a big crowd and a big atmosphere?
No, I look forward to every Football League game, whether it's a big crowd or a small crowd.
Have you any superstitions? Players all have them.
No.
Referees?
No. The superstition is every May when I get retained, hopefully get retained every year.
What about the pre-match routine? Is there anything specific that you have to do week in, week out?
Nothing out of the ordinary, just to make sure that we get to Football League games very early. Make sure that we're not late, because there's no excuse for being late.
Have you ever been late?
No, I've never been late, no, but I always set off early enough.
Look forward to seeing you on the list next year.
Well, we keep our fingers crossed.
Meanwhile, a crowd of over 15,000, Hull's biggest of the season, is gathering inside Boothferry Park, awaiting the first blast of referee Ian Hendrick's whistle.
And welcome to Boothferry Park for tonight's top of the second division clash between the leaders Bradford City, who pay visit to the current side in third place, Hull City. A rundown of the side now, and the Tigers in goal, number 1, Tony Norman, number 2, and at right back, Charlie Palmer, number 3 at left back, Pat Hurd, number 4, Richard Jobson, number 5, Peter Skipper, number 6, the Tigers under-21 international in midfield, Gary Parker, number 7, the Tigers captain, Gareth Roberts, number 8, Frankie Bunn, number 9, Alex Dyer, number 10, Billy Askew, and at number 11, Neil Williams. The Tigers substitutes, number 12, Andy Saville, and number 14, Tim Hottie. The referee tonight is Mr. I. Hendrick, and the linesman, with the red trim, Mr. P.A. Smith, and with the yellow trim, Mr. M. Swift. And there we go, Hendry. So Bradford get this game underway. Big second division clash of the evening. Here's Dyer for Hull. Outside for Hurd. Looking for Bunn, but a good clearance by Dave Evans. Hendry again for Bradford. Ellis. This is Ormondroyd, and just wide. Tomlinson, it's a long kick, looking for Hendry. Skipper. Parker, Bunn. Askew looking for Parker again. But Evans gives away a throw. Here's Parker. Looking for Dyer. Can Dyer turn? Dispossessed by Oliver. Palin. But Dyer wins it back. Dyer looking for the opening. But Hull still have possession. Here's Askew. Hurd. To Roberts. The referee blows. Free kick. Hendry. Gary Parker for Hull. Dyer. Back to Palmer. Bunn brought that down well, and Williams to Askew. But Askew's cross catching Frankie Bunn on the wrong foot. Skipper. Askew. Dyer brought that down well. Here's Roberts. Parker. And Williams has got in round the back. Williams. Neil Williams showing a quick turn of pace. Bunn. Parker, his former Luton teammate. Hurd. Good cross looking for Williams. And Williams got up well there. Dyer got round Sinnott. Tomlinson saves well. And it will be Neil Williams and Gareth Roberts to get this second half underway. Looking to find Leonard, but Norman's safely up. And he's now trying to get Dyer and Bunn away at the opposite end. Gareth Roberts to Alex Dyer. Back to Roberts. Hurd. But Ormondroyd back to help the defence out. But Askew pumps it back in again. He's got plenty of space. Williams coming back. The cross looking for Palin. There's Leonard. But Norman also matched him by getting down well to save. Palin. Hendry with the dummy, and he gets round Hurd. He's got two in the centre, Leonard and Ormondroyd. But it was a poor cross. An easy one for Tony Norman. Williams, back to Palmer. Dyer tries to turn Evans and beats him. Dyer running up the defence. Can he get round Sinnott? He's got support with Gareth Roberts. Oh, drive just wide. And the header from Richard Jobson seemed to go through the defence, but it was straight at Tomlinson. Then a header at goal. Ormondroyd for Bradford. Abbott. Hendry outside to Ormondroyd. Parker clears. Dyer, beautiful turn. Here's Bunn. He's got the defence backpedaling. What can he do with it? Askew. A deflection, but they may run for Dyer. After scoring quite frequently in Bradford's recent games. And Bradford with a header there. That was very close, just over the crossbar. Dyer for Hull. Bunn takes it up. Bunn tries a shot. And a good save by Tomlinson at full stretch. The first real shot on target of the match. Frankie Bunn providing it. And he forced a good save out of Paul Tomlinson. Gareth Roberts now with the corner. And that was off the post. Neil Williams getting up there with the header. And Gareth Roberts can hold his head. Well, it was a low corner and Williams got his head to it ahead of Mitchell. And the ball came off the post. Roberts tries it again, but Mitchell clears this time. Hurd. Outside to Roberts. Takes on Mitchell. But finds too much in Evans, but Hull still have possession. Williams, can he turn? No, he can't. Here's Askew now. Askew. Good cross. Dyer trying to get up there. Bunn now for Hull. But Tony Norman safely gathers. And Hull trying to get on the counter now. Frankie Bunn to Neil Williams. Williams running at Gavin Oliver. Inside to Dyer. Dyer. Askew now. Askew tries one. And that was a good save by Paul Tomlinson. Jobson. Hendry for Bradford. Mitchell now under pressure from Roberts. Hendry again. Cleared by Skipper, and Dyer trying to get away down the middle, but Sinnott covered well. Roberts. Askew. Jobson. But the referee blows for full time. The full-time score here at Boothferry Park. Hull City 0, Bradford City 0. A result which moves the Tigers up into second position temporarily, with Middlesbrough playing tomorrow night. A game controlled and the chances limited due to both sides' strong defence. So the full-time score, Hull City 0, Bradford City 0.
No goals, but a game to grace any division, and proof perhaps that both Hull and Bradford are equipped to face the first. One man very much in the thick of the action was City's midfield terrier, Billy Askew. And Billy, I think that picture tells the story, a well-creamed crackered, as they say.
I'm very tired now. It was a fast game. I feel really tired now.
Is that as good a game as you played in this season?
I think that's the two best sides in the league tonight.
Yeah.
On that showing anyway.
Well matched. I don't think there was really a bad player on the pitch from what I saw.
Like I said, it was a hell of a game, and I think all the fans have gone home happy, like by the applause we got at the end. The fans really enjoyed it, even though it was nils each. Must have been a hell of a game.
People have been saying it was as good to watch as Liverpool versus Everton. Was it as good to play in?
Well, I wouldn't know about that, but I watched the game on Sunday, like Liverpool-Everton, and I think that was as quick anyway, as quick and as competitive.
It would have been a tragedy for either side to lose, really.
Yeah. I don't think either team deserved to lose, although we needed the 3 points more than what they did. I think 0-0 was a fair result at the end of the day.
Conversation in the sponsors' lounge afterwards is as animated as the match itself. All are agreed on the quality of the action and that a draw was a fair result. But whatever the outcome of any game, Hull is a club rightly noted for the warmth of its hospitality, and Chairman Robinson typifies the spirit.
Can I just have your attention just for a second? It's my privilege today to present the autograph ball from the team to Henry Booth's company to sponsor the game tonight. Now we can't, if we're going to have a first division side in Hull or a good team in Hull, we can't go without sponsorships and the people who support us. Even the Marchfield supporters like Henry Booth, even down to the people sponsoring a pair of boots and things like that, you know, that isn't afford that. And without it, football won't survive. And we want to survive in Hull. We don't want to just survive, we want to go into the first division. That's been a great game tonight. You know, we want it to win it, but it's a type of game you don't want anybody to lose in. I think it was played in a marvellous game of football, and I think the referee did very well the way he controlled it and everything else. So, oh, wait a minute.
It's a special surprise.
There's Muriel. Is Muriel here? Now, Muriel has been a City supporter, and she's worked for Booths for 40 years. That was 42. That was 14 years before I was born. She's worked for Booths. So it's a work for we're going to extend it to her. Right, can we have a case?
And after a gruelling game with Bradford, it's more hard work. Dennis, what does a training session consist of?
Well, it depends. The nearer we get to the game, this morning we've only had about an hour. We haven't done a lot with the lads. We've done a lot of crossing and shooting and basically short, sharp work for Saturday. The hard work's done early on in the week when the players, depending on if they've had a game. If they haven't had a game, we probably work them very hard on Tuesday, possibly all day.
So that's how you vary it?
That's how we vary it. Some days, Wednesday maybe get off. But as the nearer we get to Saturday, Friday and Thursday, it's very sharp and short. We don't like to keep them here too long, especially when the weather's wet and that gets a bit heavy out on the back pitch.
Match day morning and another top game. The players arrive for their trip to Middlesbrough. Before boarding the coach, Brian Horton was asked which sides had worried him most this season.
Well, obviously the two that have caused us most problems are the two that beat us. Although the Plymouth game we didn't play very well. The Sheffield United one I thought we played quite well, but two marking mistakes cost us the game. But they've all been tough games. I mean, the Bradford game here, 0-0 game, I mean, that was a marvellous game. They gave us a lot of problems. Any side does. If you're not right on the day, that's what happens. You end up getting beat. So we've got to go to Middlesbrough today and make sure we're right from the first minute. And I'm sure we're capable of beating anybody in this division. We're going well. We're scoring goals. We look like scoring goals, and we've been very tight at the back. So that's all we're looking to continue to do. We take each game as it comes. You know, after Middlesbrough, West Brom here, you know, they're not having the best of times, but, you know, every side in the division is capable of beating any other. So it's just a matter of taking each game as it comes and treating everybody with the same respect.
Another mission to accomplish for long-serving stalwart Gareth Roberts. Middlesbrough have suffered similar sort of problems. You're playing them today. Difficult?
Very difficult, yeah. It's I think when you are in that position, when you are so low with bankruptcy and things, I think it moulds the team together, and team morale seems to come through in the end. And I think that's why Middlesbrough and us have done so well in their following bankruptcy. Today's game, it's going to be a cracker, really. Ayresome Park should be nearly full, I reckon, 15,000-20,000 with a bit of luck. I feel as though we've got a good chance.
The team arrive at Ayresome Park.
And welcome to Ayresome Park for the big game in the second division this afternoon. Middlesbrough versus Hull City. Middlesbrough currently second in the second division, ahead of the Tigers, who are third by just goal difference. And the match is underway. Skipper for Hull, it's Gareth Roberts. Looking for Alex Dyer and Frankie Bunn. But the Middlesbrough captain, Tony Mowbray, clears. So a free kick to Middlesbrough. Offside against Frankie Bunn. Gareth Roberts now bringing it away. But a good tackle from Stuart Ripley. Parker battling back against Glover. And a free kick to Hull. Peter Skipper with it. Looking for Bunn. Here's Askew. Outside looking for Roberts, but the ball too long. And it's a goal kick to Middlesbrough. Pallister clears. Parker. Cooper. Middlesbrough now with possession. Well cut out, Billy Askew. Trying to send Alex Dyer clear. But Pers came out well. And a shot just wide from Gary Hamilton. He saw the opening, had a crack, and just wide of Tony Norman's goal. Palmer tries again. Daniel. But that attempt going well over. Askew to Bunn. Back to Daniel. Askew. And a free kick to Hull. Peter Skipper. Askew. And that one well over. Ripley. Glover. Ripley again, but Daniel tackling well. Bunn to Askew. Inside to Gary Parker. Alex Dyer. Williams tries a shot. And a good save from Steve Pers. Slaven. Cooper. Kernagon. And the shot from Ripley. 1-0 to Middlesbrough. Stuart Ripley after 26 minutes. That was a beautiful strike. And Tony Norman, unfortunately beaten. Daniel. Bunn. Williams for Hull. Dyer. Palmer. And a throw to Hull. Richard Jobson coming up from the back. He's followed back by Alan Kernagon, the Middlesbrough striker. Parker. Roberts tries a shot. Askew for Hull. Looking for Dyer. Bunn guards it back to Askew. Good ball to Williams. Palmer. Parker. Can Dyer turn? He can, but Pers gathered well. Both Roberts and Williams ready to pounce. Parker. Williams. Beats Paul Kerr and Colin Cooper and gets the cross in. It was a good cross as well, but Middlesbrough clear. Skipper now for Hull. Going on his own run. Looking for Bunn. Roberts onto Askew. Back to Daniel. Good play by Ray Daniel. Askew now. It's a good cross. Just a little too long for Frankie Bunn. And Middlesbrough come again with Colin Cooper. Slaven. To the overlapping Hamilton. Hamilton did well. But he stood still as Gary Parker brings it clear. And Colin Cooper safely back to Steve Pers. Gary Parker. Ray Daniel. Billy Askew. Askew's cross, a good one. Bunn getting up there. Williams now for Hull. Back to Palmer. Bunn. Williams. But the header was a tame one from Alex Dyer. Both Jobson and Skipper have come up. Askew takes it. Palmer for Hull. And a Hull throw. Parker. Another Hull throw. Askew. Dyer. And Gareth Roberts wins the corner. Dyer. Roberts. Outside to Askew. Skipper back to Tony Norman. Payton. He has a crack. And that was cleared by Pallister. By Gary Gill. Can the Tigers snatch a late equaliser? Jobson. That's a good cross. And it's there. No, it isn't. A corner given before Stuart Ripley. Palmer. Bunn. Good ball out to Payton. And a goal kick to Middlesbrough. They're in no rush to take this now out the home side.
But what about the fans outside? Home and away, there's no bigger supporter of Hull City than Steve Driffill. Now, Steve also happens to be a policeman, and therefore a natural for the role of the club's police liaison officer. Steve Driffill is police liaison officer here at Boothferry Park. What exactly does that role entail?
Obviously, the word liaison means I liaise between the Humberside Police and the Hull City Football Club. And as such, my role includes pre-match planning, the policing organisation of coaches, visiting supporters, the overall running of the policing operation within the ground. And as such, I have to liaise very closely with officials of Hull City Football Club so that we can sort of plan together and decide which matches have got a high potential for high crowds, disorder, so we can keep our act together and do our best to assist the genuine supporters to enjoy their Saturday afternoon or Tuesday evening's football.
It sounds quite a hard job to do and a very onerous one, but really it's a labour of love for you, isn't it? Tell us why.
It certainly is. I've been a Hull City supporter for some 20 years now. I've grown up on the terraces. I suppose there's black and amber blood flowing through my veins. I've got what I consider the best job in the Humberside Police Force. And like to think that I'm doing my bit to keeping the place safe for youngsters again to come along and support a game that I certainly love, and hopefully a game that's going to flourish again in the future.
Steve Driffill hoping to bring the club and supporters closer together, and we hope in our own way to have done the same. As Don Robinson said, it's your club, he's just the trustee, and we trust that you've enjoyed this unique view behind the scenes at Hull City. See you again soon, and let's hope it's in the First Division.
Still not cleared yet. And a chance, and a good save by Tony Norman as he dives at the feet of ex-Tiger. cross from Southampton there. Coming out to hold it back. Moran, it's a low cross. It's a goal. Reading can score. 10 minutes gone. And Moran with the cross. Dyer. Askew. Skipper coming up from the back. Colin Bailey finds him, it's a good cross, and the diving header, and the goal. Well played, Andy Saville, and a good ball for Neil Williams. Williams, a little ball inside for Gary Parker. Parker tries a shot, and that one, Parker, to Dyer. Saville. By Stuart Heaton. Outside it, chooses to strike. Have a chance now though. Billy Askew, Gareth Roberts. 61 minutes gone in this match. And a goal! Alex Dyer! And the Tigers pull back. With a beautiful goal from Alex Dyer. Ball to Gareth Roberts. Can he beat Michael Jokes? It's a tempting cross. Oh, and that one we have. And another one of those tempting crosses. And nearly in. Alex Dyer that time going with Steve from and through for Williams. Williams off the post. It's a good cross from Alex Dyer. Skipper. By Steve Francis, tackle back by Hull. Billy Askew. And Roberts returns it to Askew again. Roberts. He gets the cross in. Williams driving. Palmer! Charlie Palmer, and the shot goes in, and the goal from Gary Parker, and the fans rejoice as Hull get back on level terms. A sensational goal